So a fresh new week has arrived, and here on this channel, that means one thing and one thing only. Every week I post an episode of the series we do called Your Take Not Mine, where I turn to you the viewers to give me your hottest NBA takes of the week based on what's going on at the time, and I then choose my favorite submissions and discuss them in a video. This week, the trade deadline came along and literally blew everyone's minds with so many crazy trades happening, so we definitely have plenty to discuss. In order to submit your takes, I make a community post on either the day of or the day before the video, similar to the one that you see on your screen now, so if you want a chance to be featured in a future episode, be sure to stay on the lookout for that. Before we start though, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. PrizePicks is the most fun way to play daily fantasy sports and win up to 100 times your original entry. It's so easy to get involved as well. You just pick 2 or more players, pick more or less than their projected stats, and place your entry. While we're all basketball fans here, they do offer pretty much any sport you can think of to choose from and play, so there are so many different ways to play and make potential combinations that are available. PrizePicks also offers tons of special promotions such as Taco Tuesday and Flex Friday, plus plenty more specialty free spaces for big matchups, so you don't want to miss out on those to take advantage of. For the Super Bowl, for example, they're running a free space for Patrick Mahomes where as long as he throws for 1 single yard, it hits, so go take advantage of that ASAP. To sign up, go down to the link in the description of this video and use code reference to take advantage of an offer where all you have to do is play $5 and you get $50 added to your account instantly. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. The first take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Winston, and he says that the Warriors just made the same mistake that the Phoenix Suns made when they traded for Kevin Durant by trading for Jimmy Butler, because the team gutted their depth for a big name player who is old and injury prone. I see the thought process behind a take like this because on the surface there are quite a few similarities between the deals and what went into getting them done, but there is one stark difference between the Warriors now and the Suns when they made the Kevin Durant trade that makes me strongly disagree with that take. The difference is the fact that the Suns were already title contenders at the time they went out and brought Kevin Durant in. They made the NBA Finals in 2021, and in 2022 they lost in a tight 7-game series to the Mavericks in the second round, so their thought process was more along the lines of trying to hit a home run to get themselves over the hump. Obviously, in hindsight, they went way overboard trying to buy into the idea of star power above all else, because as the original take states, they did gut the rest of the roster, sacrificing depth and role player talent to an irreversible degree, and they left themselves with no more money to spend to bolster those areas. The Warriors right now are in a much different place than the Suns were back then. The Warriors missed the playoffs entirely last season, and this year have been looking like a repeat of the same outcome on the way, with them currently being in 11th place in the Western Conference standings. If the season ended today, they wouldn't even get a chance to take part in the play-in tournament, so the desperation is a lot more heightened because of that sense of urgency. They needed to take a big swing for more than the Suns did back then, because maximizing Steph Curry's remaining prime is their #1 goal, while for the Suns, they had younger stars like Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges that they could have retooled around with a longer view in mind. Whether or not Jimmy Butler can come in and save their season is a whole nother discussion in and of itself, but Jimmy's track record in the playoffs speak for itself, so from here on out, all they need to do is get there and give themselves some kind of hope to see if they could end up with a reasonable chance competing against anyone once they make that big dance and unlock Jimmy Butler's playoff upside. Whether or not they can climb out of the hole they're currently in or not is something we'll have to wait and see on though. The next take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Blade, and he says that the Mavericks are actually more suited for a deep playoff run now with Anthony Davis than they were with Luka Doncic. This one's definitely spicy because the entire basketball world, for good reason, has been looking at the Mavericks with absolute disgust for making what seems to be one of the worst trades a franchise could possibly make given the circumstances. You just don't trade generational superstar talent when they're 20 25 years old under any circumstances, and to trade them for one star player who is already in their 30s, injury prone, and only getting one single first-round pick added in when other star players have been traded for up to 5 first-round picks in the last few years, just comes off disrespectfully lopsided. All of that applies to the long-term focus of the franchise, though. This season only, sure, there could be an argument that the Mavericks are better suited for success. Luka Doncic has been struggling with injuries all season long, and his absence has resulted in this Mavs team sitting in the middle of the standings in 8th place, which isn't great after coming off a trip to the finals, but it's also still very salvageable. Anthony Davis will come in and provide an upgrade to their defense. I'm not here to deny that by any means, because he's playing at a near Defensive Player of the Year level this season. But in order for this trade to have any chance at all of being justifiable, the Mavericks need to win the finals. Anything else is just not good enough when you trade away a generational talent like Luka for the sake of quote-unquote winning now, according to their general manager. Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving have both won championships as the second fiddle, playing next to LeBron James, but neither have led teams to any kind of similar success when they have been in positions of being the number one alpha on the team. The fact that both of them have their own struggles staying healthy too also makes it hard to trust them, and the West has just been so loaded this year that it's going to be a bloodbath every step of the way, leading me to believe that they will not make it back to the finals for a second consecutive season. And finally, the last take we'll be discussing today comes to us from Jesu, and he says that the Cavaliers sneakily had the third best trade from the deadline this year, acquiring DeAndre Hunter to be the perfect fit at their small forward position, further improving their chances to beat the Celtics in the playoffs. So the Cavaliers have broken out this season as the best team in the Eastern Conference at the moment, and with all of this momentum they've built up, they're trying to capitalize on it by preparing themselves for a title run however possible. The Celtics are the defending champions with the bullseye on their back, and the Cavaliers knew any hole they had needed to be sealed up. The small forward position has been a weak point for them over the last few years, and DeAndre Hunter has been having the best season of his career this year, putting up 19 points per game, shooting 46% from the field and 39% from 3, defending hard on the perimeter, and contributing within the flow of the offense, not trying to do too much. He's not a selfish player by any means, he's the type of player to do whatever's asked of him, and in a lineup where he's playing with Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell now, they will be getting so much attention from defenses that Hunter will continue to punish the weaker defenders that they have to throw on him as a result of that. The Cavaliers have as good of a chance as anyone to win it all this year, but it's far too early for me to crown them over Boston. Boston's been there and done that, they still have the same core, and they're still the favorites despite what the records say right now. So I agree with the original take and do love what the Cavaliers did, only time will tell if it was the move that gets them over the hump though. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about the takes discussed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.